YouTube. Thank you for watching this video on the chicken step feeder that I built, inspired by a post from Pinterest. My boy here modeling it for you, and also a few descriptions on the components or the sections of the feeder, as well as some random items on the screen. Now the first thing you're going to need is some wood, obviously. What I have here is a 22 inch by 22 inch piece of birch plywood. I know plywood might be a little overkill for a chicken feeder, but it's something I had lying around that I'm going to be using to build this feeder. Now the pieces you see here are cut out already. I basically got the template from the Pinterest post that I mentioned earlier. The descriptions for the general dimensions should be on the screen there. What you need to do obviously is to trace the pattern, then using whatever tool you have, cut it out as straight and accurately as possible. And you'll see here you have the two sides, as well as the small piece in the front that connects, as well as the bottom and the angled back. Now here you'll notice that I'm connecting the smaller piece to the sides using some corners, brackets slash supports. They're usually used to connect a box or a frame, but in this case I'm using it to connect that small piece on the bottom. Now I'm showing you here a close-up of the pilot holes that I've drilled before screwing the sides together to that smaller piece in the front. Now I highly recommend, in fact it is necessary to drill pilot holes in plywood, or it will basically shred or break apart. So all the holes and screws that go into this chicken feeder have been pre-drilled or have had a pilot hole drilled before the screws were put in. Now here are some more examples. Okay, now here's a shot of the bottom connected to the top with a small piece all supporting the sides. Here's a shot of the bottom panel, the back panel, the side panels, and the small front panel all connected together. Now the back panel is connected at an angle. So basically the side panels would sandwich the back panel, and the back panel wouldn't be straight up and down or side left to right. It would be at an angle. So basically the top left corner would be connected all the way down to the lower right corner, flush with the bottom panel. So if you were to look at it at the side so that it looks like the boot, you would see a line going from the top left-hand corner all the way down to approximately just past the middle of the bottom panel. Now I recommend that you draw this line outside of the side panels so you know where to pre-drill the holes, or it makes it very tricky to figure out how and where to place the pilot holes. Now here's a shot of the front top panel connected. This was a little more straightforward. Even though it's connected at an angle, it's flush with the outside, so it's easier to align and pre-drill the holes and get it all in there and support it. Now here's a shot of the cover for the opening as well as the step portion of the feeder. Of course they have some hinges on the side, so basically some extensions where it will be connected to the box, as well as having pivot points where it will be pushing support or will be pivoting on. Now here's a shot of the cover and basically how it works. It just moves up and down, and you'll notice that little piece of wood in the front of it, sort of like the lip of it, and now you'll also notice that it's been sanded, so the edges are not sharp, they're rounded. And the reason for this is I noticed when I was originally testing it, if it was too square, sometimes it would catch because the cover would wiggle a little bit, or it wouldn't be super tight, so it could catch as it was coming down. So basically I would recommend rounding the corners as you proceed. Okay, now you'll see my son here demonstrating the finished product. Now, basically, what that bulky wood-looking thing on the cover is a counterweight. Now, I'll probably find something heavier and skinnier to put in there instead of that bulky piece of wood, but that's what worked for me right now. Also, you can see how the hinge and pivot points work. So basically, the step portion of it, the pivot point has to be past the hinge point, and the cover, it has to be in front. The hinge point has to be in front of the pivot point. So basically, pivot point is the anchor to the body where the mechanism will turn, and then the hinge point is where the cover meets the stepper and where the mechanics of it works. Now, I should have followed more closely the instructions that I saw for lengthwise and pivot points and locations and whatnot, but I just kind of freestyled it here. So you'll notice I have a lot of trial and error holes on the sides and on the arms of the cover and the stepper. But ultimately, I got it to work, so that's what counts. Okay, if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Thank you for watching and have a great day. All right, and later.